Okay. I try to be.
Microphone.
Yes. Presentation.
Ja, ja, vielleicht. Ja. Alles gut.
Okay. Good morning. It's still morning. Everyone, I'm Goran Zajic. I'm coming from. You cannot hear me?
There is a microphone working now, I think. The microphone?
He has a microphone,
Yes.
but this microphone is for the recording and not for the room. I don't know if you should use both. Use both.
Okay.
Use both, yeah.
I'm coming from Academy of Applied Studies, Polytechnica Belgrade, Serbia. And my topic today is dual education in cybersecurity. It's a very sensing story about dual education because generally the cybersecurity industry is very sensible about security, code of ethics, and some other things. So my colleagues, Predrag Drobnjak and Ana Popovic, are co-author of this work. So cybersecurity, generally the employing in this industry is not only based on skills and on knowledge. It's also on personal virtues and code of ethics. It's very important, so it's not easy to implement dual education in that industry. So, change, okay, thanks. Higher education in cybersecurity is demanding because of access to confidential data everywhere, where is a working area, working with the various sensitive IT technologies, generally in every provider of cybersecurity services, and problematic student discipline, generally in curiosity. That's the problem with the students only but major problem when cybersecurity is. So, as in other industries, in cybersecurity, there's a lack of professional staff. So there are some providers have found their own way how to find people who will do that job because they want educated people, but very strict about some behaviors or some other attitudes. So generally, ethical issues, information security is related to business issues. So privacy, protection, data, trust, control, accessibility, confidentiality, responsibility, use ethical codes to conduct data integrity, consent transparency, availability, accountability, autonomy, ownership, usability. So it's a problem. How we can send the student in working area and we have to like that. And we have one company that was a provider of cybersecurity services, and they approached academia to find a way to create a program which they can implement it somewhere to educate some people that they can employ in some part of a job or part of a working area in cybersecurity. So generally, the issues in this, I think, is process is that we have a company that is a provider of cybersecurity services, and we have a company that is a client. And some confidential data is in working or distributing between the workers or employers, and the students are among all this area. So a lack of qualified staff in client companies is a problem. Need to train client employees in this area and introduce something new, somebody new. simplifying the job of implementing and maintaining the information security, just to raising in a higher level, and it's necessary to teach employees skills from various previous educations. It's a problem. So, the students in dual education, in this case, are not only the students from primary higher education, they are usually the employees of client companies. And after that, like some with newcomers that they want to work in that working area, we have to manage to produce some dual education program that somebody new can come to learn about this job and go to some company working in some acts in the company's production systems. So academy with company that is a provider of cybersecurity services, we agree about the program on the level 6. So it's something like a specialization or something like maybe smart specialization in some way with classical and dual study model, and we was fully complied with their demands about curriculum because they know what they want. So we just implemented their wishes and create a curriculum based on some European examples in that area. So what is a major thing in this implementation? We cannot send a student in company. So we have to create training center in academia, equipped with all hardware and software, allowed the access physically and remotely, and we try to enable to tutors from companies to come in our facilities to make really presentations, really simulations, and on some virtual way, the academy was their client. On that way, we can achieve the security. And the data confidentiality is completely it's completely achieved. So in our training center, the students can be controlled and monitored by their experts, because their experts from the company creates some real simulations and real situations with working area, in their working area, so everything is safe. The problem in information technology, generally in education, the people who is involved in that type of education, is that when the students upskill, they become much danger, because they try to test, they try to access, and that's the problems. And if they do that on that level, it's a problem late, much bigger problem. So the control, it's essential. And through the process, when the company approached to the academy, they ask about the formal education. But generally, in IT, they're not much like about formal education, but they insisted formal education. We asked why. They said control. We can see the development. We can see the development of altitude. We can see the development of code of ethics. So after that process, they can select, choose, and employ somebody that is appropriate for employment. Generally, these anomalies of students, it's not thinking on bad way, but just the curiosity in this type of industry is very dangerous. So generally, the complete work environment in our training center allowed the company and the students complete simulations of a working process in this type of industry. So through the process of education and through dual education in our training center, timely correction, students adapt to rules, strict discipline involved in this, and after that we have some picture about the person that is educated on this way. And generally, like a conclusion, this approach of dual education allowed us to present to student a real working environment, but in our facilities, but it's very similar. Like they're working in companies, they are provider of cybersecurity services. We completely satisfying all legal restrictions through intensive control and control of students and monitoring. We developed some skills of the students, and we have an insight in their behavior, discipline, and code of ethics. And through this education, it's very important that students should develop some altitude to achieve some of codes of ethics that can work in area like cybersecurity. So that's it. Thank you.
It seems that you have created like a digital twin of the company.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have to.
Is there anyone who wants to share their experience with similar topics or has questions? Ansi? Oops.
So many thanks for your very nice presentation. And I thought it had been a very long time that we really need this kind of environments, virtual or this kind of real simulation environments, that we can really learn those practices in cases like you have now. So is this environment only for the one company, or can it be used in the same field who are working? And is it how laborers for the working life? Because now they are anyway setting up with you this environment, and should they keep it alive, and what it means for the working life?
For working?
So what it means for the working life, how laborers it's to keep alive this simulation center for the working life.
How they are alive, real, real.
How much effort is it?
Yes.
Yes, it's a problem for implementation, but okay, I can talk without. It's a problem for implementation, but we virtually set up our academy as a part of the security. So they, on our example, learn something, and the other upgrade is from the companies that is in cybersecurity industry. So it's something complex just to make the real simulation, and virtually fully we present to students the really working environment.
Just, I share your experience that some of our students, we have about 60 students each semester, each year in cybersecurity, and I share your experience that there are some, I would say, dedicated lawbreakers. inside. But for you, Mr. Schäfer reminded my colleague, remind one or two which we have to disciplinize with threatening that they would be exmatriculated.
Yes.
So indeed, as you mentioned, there's no other study course where we have to assess all students that what if they want to do any against data protection,
yes,
or the European Data Protection Acts, they will undergo law
yeah,
suits, but also exmatriculation. So
yes, yes,
we cannot afford in Germany to have an own secure cybersecurity environment for them, but it's still a problem.
yeah, yeah.
Any more questions? No? Okay. I think we then should continue. It's the first time, sorry to the students here, it's the first time that I heard that students are a danger. So
Not danger, curious, curious.
I trust that the students which are in EU4Dual involved here in our project are not a danger. They enrich our community, and I'm very grateful for them. So we continue now
Yeah,
with.
thank you.
Thank you. With Elmar Kranz.
Excuse me. Sorry.
We have a presentation which was, we thought Heidemarie Köllinger will be here, but Elmar Kranz in the second line, he takes this on. Thank you very much for being with us.
Okay. Hello, good morning everyone. I'm obviously not Heidemarie. My name is Elmar Kranz. I'm from FH Joanneum, and I want to share you some experience or thoughts or visions about entrepreneurial endeavors for dual students. How can we integrate some entrepreneurship in dual programs, and what are the ideas and what are the challenges and what is possible and what not. So as a starting point, give you a description about the program. The program is mobile software development. It's a dual program. We have in the first year a full-time degree program that the students get the proper education in IT so that they can start in the second year in a company with the dual part of the education. So from third semester to the sixth semester in this bachelor program, students are on the half of the week at the university, and the other half of the week they are in a company, and so they are focused to learn within the practical inputs in the company, similar to the cyber range, but they are working real problems. Okay. So what is our setup for the dual programs and the dual phases? We define for each student in each company, for each semester, different learning goals. They should be combined with the level of the education. So in the third semester, in the first part of the dual education, they get simple reachable goals to dive into the company's culture and art of working. And they mature in this until the sixth semester to more and more sophisticated tasks within the company. We have dedicated tutors in the company, and we have some joint reflections with every student, with every tutor in every company. So this is, of course, a lot of effort. As we heard in the session before, we need a lot of hours to support our students and also our companies. And we have this setup up to reflect these goals, are they reached, and so on. And we also try to combine the practical parts and the theoretical parts for the high education levels with the goals in the companies. In our starting situation, when we started this IT program, all the students, all the companies, they were coming to us and said, we need more and more people, we need them earlier, so we started these dual programs. and we want in our companies, can they start in the first semester? We said no, but they need some basic training. And then in the last years, with the economic crisis, we saw a lot of withdrawal from the companies. So especially IT is some kind of supportive in the industry. So if the industry is not going that well, they cut down the IT departments, and also the supporting IT companies, they are a little bit reduced. And there were also layoffs also from dual students. And we got really difficulties to get proper dual companies for the dual educations. And then there was some ways in the reflection where this was also an impression from the students. So they say it's getting really harder and harder to get a proper position in the company. And then we had some new ideas, some entrepreneurship ideas. And this could be a nice feature of a dual program, that within your education, maybe you start a company. Especially mobile development, you have a great idea for an app. And of course, we have it also in our lectures, students, they create several apps and different solutions, and we also try to make some kind of business contests, who has the best ideas for the apps. And maybe such an app could be a business idea, an entrepreneurship idea. And as an alternative to a dual education in the company, maybe this could be that students start their own company within the dual educations. So they have about half of the week time to focus in the implementation of their own business. And also we asked our students, and we had a survey with our students, and they said they like this idea. So we have two different kinds. Some of them say they want a proper job in a company, of course, and a solid salary. And others said, maybe I have this idea for my app or for my digital product, and I want to implement it, and I want to make a business out of it. Maybe now, or maybe in the next years. And this sounds like a very good idea, but there are challenges. And we are facing many challenges in this idea of getting students to be entrepreneurs within a dual education. First of all, it's not that easy, because you need some kind of tutoring and mentorship within the companies, and the background of existing structures within the company. If they're starting a startup or something like this, they lack all this company business impact. But other things are some barriers for starting this business. These are, first of all, financial reasons. Because our students, they are paid in their dual phases, and they rely on this payment. Also the lack of the technical expertise. If you're within a company, you have your tutor, you have your experts, you have your senior engineers and so on, and they can help you and they tutor you, and they should help to educate you. If you're on your own, you don't have this support. Of course, we have some limited time resources for the dual education, like a part-time employment. And if you're going for a startup or something, the amount of time maybe goes up to a very high level. So this maybe leads to failing out of the curriculum. Also, the business knowledge is not that sufficient, and we need also some more mentorship, business mentorship, and also more infrastructure. So what are our approaches, and what could be possible solutions? And maybe we should drive these initiatives at universities to focus on their startup hubs and their incubators and accelerators, that students have a place where they can build their own ideas, where they have people with similar interests, and there could be could be a connection between them, maybe some experienced entrepreneurs, IT experts, and so on. Also, one focus should be the financial situation. This could be done by governmental funding for startups or similar things. And all we need an approach to implement this business or the entrepreneurship things in the dual phases of dual education. So what are our conclusion or recommendation? In the first, this sounds like a very good idea, building your own startup within a dual program, but there are a lot of unsolved phases or unsolved problems within this thing. As you see here, we have, it could be a perspective, but we have to solve these challenges, financing, mentoring, and also the time factor. And finally, we need more and more legal regulation that this is actually possible, because actually we need some kind of internship in a company and not building a startup in your dual program. But this could be a new mindset that entrepreneurship, building your own company, could be also a part of dual education. Thank you very much.
Great idea. Thank you. This is a great idea, and it helped your students who were made redundant. And it could happen in different other branches as well, I think. But it's easier to set up an IT company as a, let's say, healthcare company.
Yes, or
so this is a very good idea. Now I really hope that we have some additions and questions.
I regret that I'm again the first who has a question. We had also the same problem in Germany, and when we did address this very good idea in our eyes to our companies, they said, just that's not your business, Mr. Nadia, because we pay the students to stay with us and not to found their own business. So our companies were strictly against that idea. We had strong discussions and we found a compromise, and it already got a pilot project by our ministry. We call it intrapreneurship. So if the companies would have the money or would have the hand on that special entrepreneurship by having the majority the capital, then they wouldn't have anything against. Even they would foster the students, because they would also grant and support their creativity.
Yes.
Is this also with us in the
yes,
Dual program?
yes, this is. So we have similar experiences. So if the companies are willing to pay and hire the students, then we have not these problems. And there is also some aspect in the middle that sometimes if you're a big company and you have maybe layoffs, but you need IT people in your company, and sometimes then a student could be some kind of this startup thing that he works for, exclusively for the company, but is not employed at the company. And if you have big layoffs, you maybe can invest in IT, but not in people to be employed regularly. And this could be a solution, and this was also an idea from the companies. And in the end, this is just a very special case. It's maybe you have 1 or 3 students per year, or maybe 1 per year, who has a lot of these skills and is not depending on the financial aspect in the dual education. Said, I have some money left over and I want to focus on my idea. And an idea could be to provide some kind of framework that entrepreneurship thing, building your own business, and in IT it's easier than in other branches, and then maybe we can do this. But actually, also in the legal regulation, it's not possible in Austria today.
Thank you.
Thank you. This was really interesting, and I think that it might because I was thinking that when the students are in companies and they spend their long times in the companies, this might lead to spin-offs from those
Yes.
companies into student-driven kind of new enterprises. And this happens anyhow in many places. It happens also if our students are having their internships and they see there that this could be done so much more efficiently or better or cheaper or anyhow something can be done in a different way, and then they establish their own business. But I think that this dual model, it would actually be a good kind of a platform for this kind of development.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I just have to say that I'm really happy that Professor said first this terrible truth that actually companies providing training for themselves, majority, and for our dual students, one of the main reasons why they are joining dual program is to stay in this company.
Yes.
Now, my question is, if you are training student to start his own business, will this affect his dual education? Because company might feel like they have to protect their data, confidentiality issues, conflict of interest, perhaps.
Yes, but if they're working in a company, there's also this do we have access to the data, and this is very similar, so there is no difference. And we have also some concept already that we have these different phases of creating a company, like the conceptual company, the implementation, and then go to the market phase. This could be very good phases within the curriculum and can be joined with lectures as well. And in the end, it would be only there would be only a few students who would do this, because you need a special mindset. But maybe this could be a new approach that we say, we also encourage people to build new companies and support the industries. And maybe if you're in a big industry company with more than 10,000 employees, you have rules and you have setups and so on. And in IT, you are used to work sometimes very agile, very dynamic and so on. And this is sometimes not possible in a big company. And then maybe you need a startup which is maybe connected directly to the company. And this could be a new case for dual studies.
I guess actually sector dependent.
Yes.
It's
it's very focused on IT.
It's like outsourced innovation. Yeah? Maybe.
Yes, this
This is a good finish now for your presentation. Thank you very much. We have one more presentation. We have now another presentation from Jyrki Laukkanen from Savonia University. And if you want, I give you the microphone so you can watch your voice.
Yes, thank you, Ursula. Well, good day for all of you, and I try to be brief so we can continue to the main session. I come from Savonia University of Applied Sciences from Finland, and we are very active part of EU4Dual Alliance. And sometimes I feel that we are the rebel of the alliance because we have very different kind of systems. And I try to remind all the time that we have a different system, but we are very committed in developing similar kind of very much work-life integrated models also in Finland. But to start with, I have my notes here, so I can use this. So first of all, it's important to explain a bit about what is the Finnish model to understand why I said that we may be a rebel here. The reason is that the Finnish system does not have the definition of dual higher education. So in Finland, we have the higher education system where there are universities and there are universities of applied sciences. Universities of applied sciences have been developed for 30 years in Finland, and actually their task is to be the connection between industry, the work life, and academia, and we very much embrace this idea that the students need to learn the skills that are useful in the future work life. So the definition doesn't exist, but at the same time, we have very strong autonomy to develop the kind of models that we think that are useful for our students. And we also do a lot of collaboration with companies and work life, different organizations, and it comes when we start to develop our curriculum. We then do collaboration. We developed curriculum so that the work life can also participate in that development, and we hear their voices in that point. When we are doing teaching, we engage the companies to different kind of models for doing that. We do a lot of simulations. We want to go to those places where actually the work is happening in the work life. So I think that we are our kind of we are at heart we are dual, but we don't have that definition. So for that reason, in Savonia, we have decided that we want to develop a new kind of pedagogical model, which we call Dual 2.0. And this is what I'm going to talk about today, try to explain what we are doing here. So this model is, of course, developed in close collaboration with this alliance. We want to learn from the models of different countries and develop the model that fits into Finland, because we need to also take into consideration what is the Finnish legislation, what are the boundaries that we have, and at the same time try to keep the good things which we already have and then learn new things from our partners. This dual model is also very much embedded in our own strategy. So we have just developed our university's new strategy for years 25 to 28, and Dual 2.0 model is in the core of the strategy. So for this presentation, I tried shortly to describe what kind of collaboration we need with companies and work life when we are developing this kind of new model, and what kind of dialogue we need between the higher education institution and the work life, and also what kind of benefits there are from this kind of stronger work-life integration for higher education institutions, for students, and also for the work-life partners. So this is our flower, Dual 2.0 model. And as you can see, it's a bit small, but hopefully you can see it. There are many aspects. So we are not talking only about education and learning, but we are talking also about co-development environments with companies. We are talking about research and development activities, how they are done together with the companies and work-life organizations. And also, for example, there is this research and development ecosystems. And we see that together with collaboration with companies, we need to try to see to the future. We need to have a kind of capabilities to understand what is happening in the future work life, so that we can educate the students, and also we can help the companies to understand what they need to develop, how they need to upskill and reskill their staff as well. So I must say that these things that I'm now presenting, we are working on them. So it's a work in process, and we continue, of course, developing this model. We have noticed that I think that one of the key points here is the fact that we need to have really strong dialogue with the companies and work life, And it's very essential to develop this model. Because if we have this strong dialogue with the companies and work life, it helps us to improve the program. It helps us to develop that kind of expertise that the students are going to need in the future. And we see that it's especially important for the commitment of the work life. If they are not participating in developing this model together with us, we cannot expect them to engage and commit to this collaboration. So for this reason, we need to, in the beginning of this planning, we need to engage them also to this work. And of course, when they are committed, they are more willing to support us in this. They are able to provide some resources, give internship places for our students, and work actively with us. Then another thing which I want to mention, which we have been discussing a lot in our university, is the co-development environments in this collaboration. And when we say co-development environments, we mean the kind of places where the learning is happening, and it should be in collaboration with the work life. So, for example, we do a lot of simulations, but if it's only simulations happening in our environment without the collaboration with the companies, it's not co-development in that sense. But for example, I take one example from our healthcare, and for example, we are organizing, Ansi can help me with that maybe. So we have this kind of big simulation happenings. For example, that there's a big accident happening in the area, and then our students and the paramedics and healthcare authorities and all are participating in that simulation together with our students and develop that, what everyone should do and which is everyone's role. And that's, for example, one example of that kind of situation where we see that this kind of co-development can actually happen. And we also think that in the future we should bring the learning more to the workplaces. We also do so-called satellite education, where, for example, in different areas or regions in Finland, the hospitals or the healthcare organizations, they are organizing the teaching in their own premises, and we provide the education. So these are like examples of that. I'm looking at my clock. So some things to conclude what I try to tell about our model. I think that this strong collaboration with work life, it really promotes the development of the higher education, this kind of work-life oriented higher education. And when we develop this kind of education programs, then of course the students will really learn those skills that are needed when they go to work life. And also I think that then our programs are more attractive. And I think that in Finland we really kind of appreciate the system that we have these more scientific, research-oriented universities, and we have universities of applied sciences who can develop this kind of new models. For students, it's obvious that when they are really learning also in close collaboration with the work life, it really gives them the expertise that they are needing in the future. So, of course, it in that way enhances their employability as well. So, what I also want to say that when we are talking about dual education, we are mainly talking about learning, education programs, and not so much about research and development. But in our model, we want to really bring also the research and development innovation activities into these activities as well. Because we think that when we are doing research and development and innovation activities in this ecosystem together with the work life, it really helps us, but it also helps the companies to see more clearly what kind of changes are happening and how they should develop their own activities as well. So it's not only our benefit, but it's also benefit for the companies. And with that, I say thank you, and I'm happy to answer if you have any questions.
Thank you, Virpi. That is great that you emphasize the win-win situation we want to introduce to our economy and to our society by dual higher studies. They're upstairs as a question.
Some exercise for Florian.
He trains every day for that.
Thank you so much. I'm Mayim Lalem. I work for Alta Forsuk based in Belgium. We do identify the criticalness of the collaboration between the work environment and the higher education environment. So this collaboration between businesses and higher education. We were wondering if you had any tips, any practical good practices for us. Because, for example, what we are facing right now is the tension between the two timelines and the two different paces between academia and institutions in their rhythm. For example, to accredit a program, it takes several years, and in the meantime, businesses are much more fast-paced. And I was wondering if you had any good practices to share with us.
Yeah. I could shout as well, but you will be in good shape after this. Thanks, Florian. Yes, thank you for the question, and I totally agree with you, and we are facing this same situation, of course, that companies want things to happen like this, and we say that, okay, our students are able to do this in their course, which is starting after 4 months or something. But of course, at the same time, we need to develop this kind of more flexible models, and we are talking a lot about the continuous learning activities and develop those as more like agile and fast kind of models. And of course, what we are developing at the moment very actively are so-called micro-credentials, these small kind of courses which can be used as a more fast kind of models. But at the same time, I also emphasize this kind of engagement of the companies already in the planning process, because that might help also. But unfortunately, I don't have any crystal clear answer for that, but I think we are struggling with the same issues.
Any other question? Yeah, Ansi.
Many thanks, Virpi. It was a really nice presentation, and we thought what kind of is our dual system there in Savonia. And my opinion is also that I think that in future we need also use more technologies in this approach.
That's
because
true.
we have some tested these virtual learning environments and new technologies and also the AI, because the challenge, especially in the healthcare sector, is that they don't have enough time to guide students. They are so busy at the moment, so maybe the technology is the answer for that area. So what do you think about Virpi? Is it possible to use some technological approach also in this model?
Yes. Yeah. I'm looking at the clock, but of course you are totally right, and I think that this is something that we also need to develop at the same time. And I think that's, for example, one issue where we can also educate our work-life partners and give them the benefits as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jyrki, for this insight. We are all available for